I love working with a producer, and usually I work with Paul Shields if I can. And I realized in working with a producer that an analogy has bubbled to the surface. And I actually really like this analogy because I think it describes the relationship really well between the facilitator and the producer. And the analogy is a hop on, hop off bus tour. So if you think of being in London, England, those double decker red buses, it would be like one of those. So the technical producer is the person who drives the bus, and they're focused on navigating, making sure you get from the beginning to the end. They're focused on the technology, potholes, any detours that you have to take, any troubleshooting, things like that. They worry about things like if the engine light comes on, so trouble, what is it that they need to do to address that? The other person in that team is the facilitator, and that would be me on the top of the double-decker tour bus with a microphone in my hand, and I would be the tour guide. And my focus is on the people on the bus, the participants. I'm focused on their experience. I'm focused on what they're seeing, what they're doing, and ultimately what they're learning. And that together, the producer, the bus driver, and the facilitator, the tour guide, make sure that that experience for participants is a positive one. And in the context of learning, that it's something that they can learn from and then apply back in their job. So it's certainly possible to do both. And it just means that maybe you don't have a double-decker bus and you're driving and being the tour guide at the same time. But if you could imagine, and if you've maybe been on one of those tours, the person driving is speaking about what's happening, but isn't able to give as much attention to the participants and kind of where they are on that journey, what they're understanding, what questions they might have. So they're having to divide their mental energy between driving and facilitating. And that's what happens in a session as well. It's certainly possible, but if you have the luxury of having two roles, I certainly encourage you to do so.